Good evening. Hope everybody's doing well. Wow. Quite a bit of news today, kind of all over the place. And at the same time, a lot of the different news articles were talking about, the same topics throughout the day. So, pardon me, I was coughing right before, the intro music quit, so that's why I sound a bit winded. So anyway, lots of craziness. And then today, it was brought to my attention that several days ago, the Pentagon made quite an interesting comment. And, from all that I can tell, the news went out on multiple, platforms and all. It looks like the news was authentically put out there, but 4 days later, and it's the first that it's starting to get any traction, when you're literally saying that there could be somewhere in our solar system a mothership that could be sending probes to the Earth. Now, I don't know about you, but when I look at the itinerary of news, I don't know of a whole hell of a lot that would top that. So I kind of have to question, why wasn't this covered? They want to go on and on and on about an insurrection of a particular building in a particular January. But what about the insurrection of the planet, man? Because I know one of those little green, gray alien things had one of those, the bullhorn, the Viking hats and face paint on, and, well, I find this interesting, perplexing. A long time ago, I quit believing a damn thing I hear. If it comes from a news outlet, if it comes from the government, chances of me believing it are probably pretty slim. However, what I do is take the topic that people are discussing, and then I personally look into it myself, and most times, I'm sure you find something different than what the news is particularly reporting. So I haven't really dug into this alien mothership thing, and that's because there's somebody cut the fiber optic cable from me to ET, and so I haven't had to be, chance to have the discussion with him over this. But do I believe that there's aliens? Well, absolutely. I think it would be incredibly naive, incredibly selfish, incredibly narcissistic, incredibly a lot of things to think that we're the only ones in this big grand universe. To me, that would be nuts to think that. Do I believe that there's an alien mothership in our solar system? Probably many, is what I would say to that. Do I believe that one and or more of them are sending probes to the planet Earth? I would say for how long now? Because we want to talk about those people in the sky, the sky people that ride in the sky chariots. I'm pretty sure there's a book that goes back a little ways that I could talk about, and we could discuss the whole alien mothership sending stuff to Earth kind of thing. And it far predates us. And then we could perhaps maybe take a trip from there and check out some of the sites of the world where even pre-biblical times, there is clear indication, literally carved. So for me to think that there is no such thing as aliens or UFOs, I would have to consider myself pretty frickin' stupid. Do I think the government, because it's all about asking the right questions. That's the most important thing you can learn in life. Learn to ask the right questions, because it doesn't matter if you ask 10 billion questions. If you don't ask the right ones, you're not going to get the right answer that you need. So the next question is, why is it that today or 4 days ago or what have you, did they decide that it was a good idea to come out and not release this news to everybody? To not release the release of this news to everybody? I don't know. And anything that I would say would be just pure speculation, obviously. I personally just have this hunch that, and this is just a hunch. You can call me a wacko, that's fine. I think we all have those thoughts once in a while where we just let our head entertain the thought a little bit. I do that. I'll admit I do that. And it has been rumored, it had been talked about many, many times in the past about whether or not aliens have actually been in contact with the world governments. And I know that a lot of people are starting to try to find where I put my tinfoil hat on the desk here, but don't worry, it's not on the desk. I have it handy, though, but I don't feel a probing coming on. The moment that I start to feel probing, I'll go get my hat. But I think that it's very likely that there is some truth to that. How much, I couldn't tell you, of course, but you know, I'm just not a naive person, folks, and I can put 2 and 2 together and not come up with 5. And I look at the advance of our technology over the last, say 30 years, 30, 35, 40 years. And I'm telling you right now, we didn't do that. I'm telling you right the hell now, we did not do that. You want to talk about the leap in technology that happened in the 80s, late 80s, early 90s. There is a leap in technology like no other. It was much when we went to the digital phase of things. There were components. How in the hell did somebody figure out how to make that component that would do that particular task? How did they know that they could mine this, and this, and put it together in this fashion and do that with it, and put electricity through it, and it would react in this particular manner? Now, there's a reason why electronics has been a passion of mine literally ever since I was in kindergarten. And this has done nothing but encourage the hell out of that passion and curiosity. But many years ago, as I was starting to build upon knowledge on electronics, I ran into that. I ran into that technological leap to where I couldn't get from point A to point B because there was a lot of information in the middle missing. Information that cannot be had. That's the point I'm trying to make. Where and how did they make that particular jump? And because of that jump from out of nowhere, I had a hard time kind of catching back onto the ledge on the other side. I don't know if the way I'm wording it makes sense at all. My brain is a very, very weird creature. And I struggle learning things from front to back. I struggle with it. I can do it, but I struggle with it. However, if you just give me the damn thing and let me look at it and reverse engineer it, I'll figure it out in a split. It's just the way that I work. And I have nothing to reverse engineer there because there's no work to show me where they came up with that. They just said, here's this technology. And I don't believe they came up with it. I believe they had help. I also believe, and this is one of those tinfoil hat rumors, so, I mean, call me what you will. But I also believe that one of the things that they told the governments that are working with them is that they had to let us know about their existence. I think there are very likely other things involved in this deal. Probably some not so good things for us. But it's all, again, myself included, once in a while we'll all let our minds just go. And if I were to let my mind go that direction, that's where it goes. I'm not saying I wholeheartedly think that anything that I just went over is the way it is. I'm not saying that. I'm saying when I let my mind wander, that is where it wanders to. Find it very interesting. Anyway, so there's an article. There's several articles. All you got to do is Google it. It's crazy. You'll see it come up on so many sites and well-known sites. It's really crazy. In fact, let me show you that, right? So right here, let me bring this back up forward. This is Military Times. It just happened to be up top in my search. So, but all I'm going to do is highlight that and click search Google. Right? And you see how that pops up. It looks like the results below are changing quickly. 5 days ago, 11 hours ago, 4 days ago, 4 days ago, a day ago. And, like I say, we're talking MIT Tech News, technically. India Times, Military Times, and I saw it on here's Fox News right here. Went out on Flipboard, which I think is affiliated with Google, I think, or at least Android. Daily Mail, Forbes, MSN, you know what I'm saying? It's, I would say that it definitely went out there on the different outlets. But why didn't anybody say anything 4 or 5 days ago when it came out? Why am I just discussing it today? And I do live under a rock. I'm pretty proud of that. But I do kind of keep my feelers out with news. And today was the first time this came across. So I find it interesting. Let me read the article. I've got, 5 other tabs open besides this, and, let's go through it. After I have a sip of coffee, couple of vapes. Here, a couple of dog huffs. Now, I already got the huff. I got the huff during the intro. Pretty loud one tonight, too, so I think she was trying to tell me, last night you were kind of acting the fool. Tonight, rein it in a little bit. I think that's what her thoughts were. She just huffed. I can't. I love that dog so much. Anyway. Pentagon UFO chief says alien mothership in our solar system possible. Now, there's a possibility that extraterrestrial motherships and smaller probes, ooh, you got to watch out for them small probes. You don't even realize they're there until it hits your prostate. Anyway, may be visiting planets in our solar system. The head of the Pentagon, I didn't say that. Did you? I don't know who said it. The head of the Pentagon's Unidentified Aerial Phenomena Research Office noted in a report draft shared Tuesday. An artificial interstellar object, or interanal object, could potentially be parent craft that releases small mini probes, that would suck, during its close passage to Earth, an operational construct construct not too dissimilar from NASA's missions. Sean Kirkpatrick, director of the Pentagon's All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office, wrote in a research report co-authored by Abraham Loeb, chairman of Harvard University's Astronomy Department. Now, hold up. First off, right now we need an executive order from Biden. Right now. I mean, he can't wait on this. We have to change the name from All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office. How in the hell are you going to say that on the phone when you're all freaked out because you got lights and googly eyes looking at you and you got all kinds of crap going on and you press 0 on your phone frantically? Can you even do that anymore if you press 0? I guess it doesn't go in anybody anymore. Do you get an operator if you press 0 now? I don't know. I haven't tried it in 2 decades. Anyway, forget about that. So they're sitting there hitting 0 or 911 or whatever on their phone, trying to call somebody who cares. And then they finally get somebody and they can't spit out All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office. You're just like, I need, and they're going to think you're like just doing some kind of whacked out drugs and they're going to hang up the phone on you. So how can you expect people to report anomalies if they can't even say the name of the office? Anyway, Kirkpatrick, who was appointed as a director at the, why don't they just call it AARO? There you go, AARO, AARO. That people can get out. But will the operator know who the hell they're talking about? See another problem. When it was founded in July 2022, previously served as the chief scientist at the Defense Intelligence Agency's Missile and Space Intelligence Center, another group of people that really need to have a lesson in shorter names. The AARO was established to investigate unidentified objects of interest, spooky shit in the sky, around military installations, according to Pentagon press release. Loeb, not like, what was her name? Loeb and, it was a band. Oh, come on, help me out here. Lisa Loeb and the something. It was a band. She had a one-hit wonder, in my opinion. Sorry, Lisa, it's kind of true, but that one song was really kick-ass. Anyway, Lisa Loeb and the 9 something, but I can't remember 9 what. Anyway, different Loeb though, I'm sure. On the other hand, he gained notoriety when he proposed our solar system had been traversed by its first extrasolar visitor in October 2017. At that time, the Pan-STARRS telescope in Hawaii detected an object moving at the speed that caused some scientists to suggest that it originated outside our system. The object's orbit also hinted at other forces besides the sun's gravitational pull influencing its movement. Oh, I thought you looked it up. I think it's like Lisa Loeb and the 9 Stories. I bet you that's what it is. Lisa Loeb and the 9 Stories. I'll bet you. But I can't remember the name of the song for the life of me. Incredible song. I love it. Let's see. Scientists dubbed the object. Oh, well, you mean Biden did this. Biden named this. Come on. Don't cover for him. This is nothing but Biden right there. They asked him at a press conference, say, "Hey Joe, what do you think this thing is? This object up is in space?" And he's like, and they're like, "Exactly, that's the one we were talking about." And so that's how it got named. Anyway, howdy Caesar. Hey, don't pay much attention to me because I'm just not right in the head. So, but I'm here to do news, and I'll get the facts straight, even if I'm not. So, she clicked over, so I don't see this even. It'll be the one song that comes up. Stay. That's it. Stay. I love that song. That's awesome. Lisa Loeb and the 9 Stories, Stay. Now, like, I'll get canceled or something. Anyway. No, she'll get canceled because I mentioned her. Because I'm sure she's kind of on the left side of things. Like, real heavily on the left side of things. Like, way the hell over on the left side of things. Anyway, back to the UFOs and space. Don't worry about it. We've got Space Force, and just their name alone makes me feel more comfortable and helps me sleep much easier at night. Knowing that I've got Space Force looking out over me. I gotta have fun with it, because this stuff is just insane, man. And the news has people running around chasing their tails and doing all kinds of backflips and doing all kinds of stuff because, well, they're pretty damn good at it, let's be honest. But I'm just sitting here going, okay. And I'm watching for that first actual major event, because right now I think we're just getting peppered with tons of information. I think why they are doing that is to confuse us, to keep us kept off balance. I don't think they're done yet. I think they've got plenty more to be able to shove at us. But what we need to be careful of is stories like this story coming out. Again, I'm not even remotely saying my thoughts are close or their thoughts are close or anything like that. But when you've got people in these positions that are saying stuff like this, it means something. Now, whether they're telling the truth or whether they're trying to gear us up for some major psyop or something like that remains to be seen. But the fact they're talking about it needs to be noted and paid attention to either way. The fact that they slipped this out and it's not getting any traction until 4 or 5 days later, that's kind of crazy. That's why you don't see me go nuts about bank failures. You don't see me go nuts about train derailments. You don't see me go nuts about all these things. They're leading people around by the nose. Don't let them do that. Just remain calm. Look for the stories that aren't being talked about. And don't let yourself get fed into by the ones that are. So anyway, another headline up there. Apparently now we're getting outperformed by AI. Put that article out real quick, so it'll be there when we get there. Let's move on. So, in other news, some identified aircraft were involved in an incident Russia comments on U.S. drone crash in the Black Sea. Now, I've got the story from RT here. We're going to read RT's side of it. And then I've got AP's side of it so that we hear both sides of it. Which side of it's the truth? Probably neither. The Russian Defense Ministry on Tuesday denied claims by the U.S. military that a Russian interceptor came into contact with the American MQ-9 drone over the Black Sea, causing it to crash. Now hold up. Now, mind you, I've never had the opportunity to sit in the cockpit of an Su-27, but I have flown an aircraft, and I would say that the only damn thing you would get me to bump into with an ultralight, a long launcher with wings, the only thing that you would get me to bump into with an ultralight, which, by the way, are very safe aircraft. That's why I said it that way. I know a lot of people that don't know about them might not think they are. They are. They're extremely safe aircraft. And the only thing you would ever get me to bump into would be maybe a freaking piece of toilet paper that's streaming down through the air. It's one of the little contests that ultralight pilots like to play. They go up, they drop a roll of toilet paper, and then what they do is they see how many times they can cut that roll of toilet paper as it's streaming down through the air. Whoever can cut their roll of toilet paper the most amount of times wins the contest. Anyway, that's it. You're not going to get me to aim towards anything other than maybe a piece of toilet paper streaming down. As far as a solid object, ain't no damn way. And I'm telling you that a fighter jet flying through the air at those speeds is not, and I'll repeat this, is not coming into physical contact with another aircraft. That isn't what you would call a ballsy pilot. That's what you would call a stupid pilot. And you don't get to fly fighter jets by being that stupid. I'm just saying. So any claim by the U.S. that they actually hit the aircraft with their aircraft is bullshit. Because you're not going to do that. There is way too much risk. Anyway. I know I didn't make it far. The UAV was flying towards the Russian border without an active transponder, in clear violation of the restricted area established for the conduct of special military operation, the ministry said. 2 interceptors were dispatched to investigate. As a result of sharp maneuvers around 9:30 a.m. Moscow time, the MQ-9 unmanned aerial vehicle went into uncontrolled flight, lost altitude, and collided with the water surface. The Russian fighters did not use weapons, this is Russia's side, did not come into contact with the UAV and returned safely to their home base, the defense ministry said in a statement. Now, one day, I was enjoying Flight Sim, as I do, and I cussed the hell out of a dude. Because he was just genius. I'm flying an F-22. I can't remember. I think he was in an F-18. And if you don't know, no, F-15. He was an F-15. And if you don't know, an F-22 is one formidable aircraft. Well, he did a maneuver in his F-15 that prompted me to do a maneuver in the F-22 that left me in just an absolute flat spin that I could not get out of in time. And the reason I'm telling you about this story is because I think that's what those Russian fighter pilots did. I think they outflew and outmaneuvered the drone pilot. And the U.S. is licking its wounds. I think that's what it is. Because an Su-27 is a formidable aircraft. A very formidable aircraft. Incredible what they can do. Russia's got good aircraft as well. We're not the only ones. The F-22 is not the only bad dog in the sky. The F-35 is a joke. F-18s are outdated and anyway, I think that's what happened personally, but let me continue on with the story. Moscow's comment came after the U.S. European Command accused the Russian jets of an unsafe and unprofessional intercept of the drone. The Americans claimed their spy drone was operating in international airspace when a pair of Su-27 jets appeared, spraying it with fuel, and struck the propeller of the UAV, which caused it to crash into the sea. EUCOM waited almost 12 hours after the incident to comment on it. Well, isn't that special? The U.S. has admitted to providing Ukraine with intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance information in the conflict against Russia, while insisting it is not a party to the hostilities. U.S. and NATO spy aircraft frequently fly over the Black Sea and approach Crimea, sometimes just before Ukrainian forces launch attacks on the Russian peninsula. Last week, a U.S. strategic bomber flew a practice run for a missile attack on St. Petersburg while staying in the international and NATO airspace. The Pentagon routinely uses the phrase unsafe and unprofessional to describe incidents in which Russian interceptors chase off U.S. drones, spy planes, or fighters that come too close to the border. And it's all just stupidity to even bring up because it happens from all countries all the time. We chase Russia off from nearing Alaska all the time. We chase China off from places. They chase us off from places. Russia chases us. This has gone on for so long. It's insane. I mean, and once in a while they'll pick one out and throw it through the news and try to get everybody all worked up in a tizzy. Now, granted, the loss of an actual aircraft is much more than just being chased away. But I think the U.S. just got spanked is all. U.S. says Russian warplane hits American drone over Black Sea. Says here a Russian fighter struck the propeller of a U.S. surveillance drone over the Black Sea on Tuesday in a brazen violation. This is the U.S. side now. In a brazen violation of international law, causing American forces to bring down the unmanned aerial vehicle, the U.S. said. Now let me repeat that, okay? Russia struck the propeller of the drone. As a result, the United States was forced to, put the drone down in the water. They didn't have a choice at that point. They just had to crash it. So then Russia didn't crash it. You crashed your own plane into the water. You said so right there. But Russia insisted its warplanes didn't hit the MQ-9 Reaper drone. Instead, it said the drone maneuvered sharply and crashed into the water following an encounter with Russian fighter jets that had been scrambled to intercept it near Crimea. Yeah, they call it a flat spin. Spoink. The incident, which added to the Russia-U.S. tensions over Moscow war in Ukraine, appeared to be the first time since the height of the Cold War that a U.S. aircraft was brought down after an encounter with a Russian warplane. U.S. President Joe Biden was briefed on the incident by National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan, and Jake couldn't stay long. He had to go back and answer more phone calls for State Farm. Anyway, according to the White House National Security spokesman John Kirby, who took over for him, he added that I don't listen to half of that. He added that U.S. State Department officials would be speaking directly with their Russian counterparts and expressing our concerns over this unsafe and unprofessional intercept. It's not. The idea that a plane was brought down, or a plane went down, let's put it that way, a plane went down, okay, that's newsworthy, but the incident itself isn't newsworthy, and I would just, tell the pilot to the drone to quit crying, right? Learn to fly better, dude. They got you. They got you. It happens. I was so impressed, and I was actually glad, and when I did that in Flight Sim and it happened to me, I actually felt honored. I did, because that dude was good. That dude was good. Anyway, I don't compete. I want to see others do good. And then what I want to do is I want to keep challenging myself. If somebody can do it better than me, then I want to keep challenging myself until I can do it better than them. Not so that I can go do it better than them and say, oh, I did it better than you. Just because I saw that I did it. That's it. It's for me. So most of my successes in life, I don't talk about because it's for me. It's not anybody else's. There are things that nobody can take from me. And, well, I say that at the same time, like they say, nobody can take, your knowledge, blah, blah, blah. And while that might be true, people sure in the hell don't have to respect it. People sure in the hell, can run it down. So that's actually why I don't share my big achievements with people. Because if they don't know about them, they can't shit on them. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. And in my life, I've had to do that my entire life. I've had to keep things away from people because they just want to shit on it. I don't know. Anyway, we've heard the word existential brought up many times. I put in another quarter and try again. We've heard Russia use and others use the term existential a lot lately, meaning that basically in their eyes, in Putin's eyes, that's what this conflict is for them, an existential conflict, that if they don't win this, they face losing it all. And Putin is continuing to say this, and, that's not good. That's not good. What do they say about people? Who is it that you should be the most concerned with? Those that don't have nothing to lose? Right. So that's what concerns me on this. It concerns me that he may actually feel this way. So I don't know. I wanted to make note that this is still something that's being said. This has been being said for some time now. Not just by Putin. In fact, I don't think he was the first one that was starting to say it. I think other people were saying that that's how they felt he viewed it. And I think there was a whole lot of different people that were saying that. And then now, coming right from the horse's mouth. And I know he's been saying it for a little while. but he keeps reaffirming that. I have a sip of coffee. What's up? Is it your birthday, Steve? Well, happy birthday. It's not an exciting thing for me anymore. It's like shit. Oh, man. All right. North Korea fires 2 ballistic missiles, says Seoul. The South Korean military has said it detected I'll get it right. I'm like changing words. Said it detected the launches of 2 short-range ballistic missiles in the north early on Tuesday. The latest show of force by the Democratic People's Republic of Korea, or DPRK, came as Washington and Seoul began a major joint military exercises on the peninsula on Monday. Pyongyang has repeatedly said it views the drills as nothing short as a preparation for an attack on its territory. South Korea's Yonhap news agency quoted the Joint Chiefs of Staff as saying the rockets launched from the southwestern Jangnyeon area traveled 620 kilometers before landing in the sea off the east coast. Seoul's military condemned the launches as an act of significant provocation that harms peace and stability not only on the Korean peninsula but also in the international community. The statement cited by Yonhap also noted that Seoul will be keeping a close watch on its neighbor for any signs of additional provocations. On Monday, Pyongyang's Korean Central News Agency reported that the country had launched cruise missiles from a submarine the day before in what is believed to have been the first such test by the North, and we covered that when that happened. You know, like I said, if there's anybody that I think we might be worried about kind of sneaking up and poking us in the eye, it would be this dude. But, and I could see that. I could most certainly see him sneaking something into the Gulf of Mexico in a shipping container or what have you, and poking us in the eye. Of course, that might be a little better than what the aliens want to do with those probes, so, you know, pick your orifice, I guess. I don't know. China warns of dangerous road following AUKUS deal. There's been kind of several headlines involving this as of real lately, including several today. Let's see. China has expressed concerns at measures undertaken by the U.S., UK, and Australian alliance to increase its collective military presence in the Indo-Pacific following Washington's decision to sell 5 nuclear-powered submarines to Canberra. The trilateral bloc has gone further down a wrong and dangerous road, Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesman Wang Wenbin said at a press briefing on Tuesday, while commenting on U.S. President Joe Biden's decision to supply the military hardware to Australia. The decision to sell the submarines, which are fueled by weapons-grade uranium, was announced this week following a meeting between Biden and his UK and Australian counterparts, Rishi Sunak and Anthony Albanese, at a naval base in California. Wang warned that the deal could have broader implications towards peace in the Indo-Pacific region and might stimulate an arms race, undermine the international nuclear non-proliferation system, and damage regional peace and stability. When asked on Monday if Beijing was justified in considering the nuclear submarines deal as a security threat or an act of aggression, Biden responded, no. So, I don't know. I will never understand that. I guess that's the hippie tree hugger, love child part of me, I guess. Because I do have a streak of that. I do. But a little streak. And I don't know. Maybe it's the good book. Maybe it's common sense. Maybe it's just, I don't know. But something tells me that we're really not put here with the intent to just wipe each other out because of greed. I don't know. Call it a crazy notion. And if we all, meaning world governments, would pay attention to common sense and possibly the good book, maybe we'd stop killing each other for greed or for indifference. Because some of it comes down to that, too. Oh, you wear those kind of shoes? I mean, we're getting there. We are getting there. It's insane. Absolutely insane. Not what humans were put here to do. Oh well. That would get me going on a whole different other discussion. Speaking of that, I actually called in Roy Potter earlier. Roy Potter was live earlier, and I was his last caller. I called in. I was his last caller. So if you want to hear me speak to Mr. Potter, that's up on Mr. Potter's channel. So let's see. Trying to think if there's anything else before we get going into these fun things. Headlines. All right. Fun. I just wish they wouldn't throw so much at us at once, so it could be a little bit easier to discern what it is that we have to really keep the eye out for smacking us, because it's like we're all dodging this, and this, and this, and that. And I just have this feeling that we're going to zig when we needed to zag, and we're going to get smacked in the face with something that we didn't see coming because we had all this other stuff. Like possibly an alien mothership or something. I don't know. Do. Turns out, zombies are real. They do eat brains, and they started with Biden. News at 11. Anyway, it'd make a good movie, right? You could say that the alien hid out in the ice cream cone, and as Biden went to go sniff, because he doesn't really eat the ice cream cones, he just sniffs them. And he went to go sniff the ice cream cone, and the alien went up into his nose, ate his brain. Well, tried to eat his brain, found nothing, got lost. The alien died. The mothership's pissed off. They want revenge. I don't know. I'll come up with a good story. A lot better than they do at the Pentagon, damn it. All right. Straighten up, Mike. You're supposed to be serious when you do news. No, I'm not. Just supposed to tell you the truth. It doesn't matter how I tell you. He didn't say it mattered how I told you. He just said I had to tell you the truth. So you get this. Anyway, Germany replaces top general. China reacts to Australia's nuclear plans. Brits skipping meals to cope with soaring costs, says a study. There's actually been several headlines saying a similar thing, both with UK and EU. So, Russian oil supplies to Germany shrink 99.9%, says data. I wonder why. Russia shares Nord Stream communications with the UN, says top diplomat. You know, that might be the reason why 99.9% of their oil supplies shrunk. Yeah, could be. Doubts in Ukraine about readiness for new offensive, says Washington Post. Russia shares Nord Stream. Oh, I covered that one. I'm reading it again. Ukraine grain deal renewed, says Moscow. Trump names country ripe for regime change. It was the U.S., which he's not wrong. U.S. bank stocks continue to plummet. And it's a headline, but they didn't end up that bad. And we're not going under. Not at least this moment. Top General illustrates how U.S. helps Kiev's Air Force. Robert Kiyosaki predicts next big bank to fold. WHO chief predicts end of COVID-19 pandemic. Well, that's mighty nice of you to let us know when that's going to end. But that's who we got to follow, right? For YouTube, right? Right, YouTube? WHO. We can't follow the CDC, not the FDA. We can't follow science. Oh, hell no. We can't follow science. We have to follow the WHO, right? Right. So they're going to let us know when we can let you know that the COVID-19 pandemic ended. But it didn't end yet. I want to make that very clear. I want to make it very clear. Did not end yet. WHO is going to let us know when. I will happily relay the information to you. A yacht linked to Nord Stream blasts is located, says media. Didn't I say that last week when you reported on it? Is this a different yacht? I don't know. Because I thought that was decided last week, and I thought that there was an investigation done, and there was explosive residues found. Is this a different yacht? U.S. banking contagion spreads to Asia. Massive refugee camp blaze was planned sabotage, says investigators. That's sad. West setting Asia up for years-long conflict, says Russia. Moody's puts U.S. banks on notice. Western sanctions protecting Russian financial system from global crisis, says the Kremlin. So, I mean, they just keep winning, don't they? They keep winning from all the actions that we took against them. It's mind-blowing. North Korea, I covered that. Mexico, safer than the U.S., the president claims. Well, it probably depends on, which places you're talking about, but there's probably more dangerous cities in the United States than there is dangerous cities in Mexico. I don't know that for sure. I'd have to sit down with a map and actually look at it, but I'm pretty sure that between like Detroit, Chicago, St. Louis, L.A., Philadelphia, Boston, I'm pretty sure that Pittsburgh, pretty sure we got them beat. Russia to expand fake news laws amid Ukraine conflict. Government bailout signals death of capitalism, says Ken Griffin. I like Peter Griffin better, but Kiev decides on defense of key Donbass city. Armenia fears withdrawal of Russian-led alliance, says PM. Defending Ukraine is not a key U.S. interest, says DeSantis. Russian economic sovereignty increased exponentially, says Putin. Kremlin comments on grain deal renewal. Hollywood icon says he's 1,000,000% Russian. All right. We're going to start calling you Helga from now on. China warns of dangerous road following AUKUS deal. Oh, I actually read that one. U.S. accuses Russia of drone downing. Drone. It's kind of hard when you read that because it went in the water. So is it a drone drowning or a drone drown? See what I mean? It's hard to say it either way. Okay, maybe that's just for me. Nord Stream blast staged by a state-level actor, says Putin. And I'm saying it wasn't Billy Bob with his scuba diver gear. I'm pretty sure. What's his name? Oh, the tiger dude didn't put on a scuba suit and go down there and do it. It might have been one of them damn trailer park boys, though. I might have been Bubbles. I actually don't know the show. I want to make that very clear. I don't know the show. I do know who Bubbles is on the show, but I don't know the show. I better say that because people are going to be shooting references like I know a damn thing that they're talking about, and I don't. I've not watched one full episode of Trailer Park Boys, so anyway, thought I better make that clear. Let's see. Meta's year of efficiency leads to more mass layoffs. Well, that didn't work out well. Russia is fighting for its very existence, says Putin. Russia comments on U.S. drone crash in Black Sea. Russian MOD on U.S. drone incident. UAV fell into Black Sea due to own sharp maneuvering. Actually, that's not the article I read. I read another one, but read that one. Let's see. Talked about that stuff. U.S. hate crimes hit record high, says the FBI. U.S. spy stabbed in terrorist attack, says media. U.S. drones have no business near Russia, says ambassador. And lastly, newly unleashed AI outperforms 90% of humans. So, I hope y'all are ready to work for 2 cents for an hour, because if not, well, a robot's going to take your job. It's long been coming, folks. Long been coming. Anyway, that's the news I've got for you tonight. I got to get out of here. I got to take myself out because it's trash night. And then I get to go to bed because I live such an exciting, on-the-edge life that I'll go find something on Netflix and go to bed. Anyway, I get to do so with the heater tonight. Yes, I love that heater. I absolutely love hearing tick, 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 tick. Oh, I love it. I love it. I missed it. Anyway, enough me gushing over my diesel heater. I'm going to bed. I hope you all have a good evening. God willing, I'll be back tomorrow. I hope to see you then. As always, God bless you. We love you. Be one with your spirit. And shalom.